Hello and welcome to the Websoil Survey Online Guidance. This is the first video, and in this video we're going to go over how to get to Websoil Survey and then a little bit of information about the very first process of Websoil Survey. So in order to find Websoil Survey, you're going to want to go to either Google or some sort of search engine and type in Websoil Survey, and it's usually the first result that pops up, this Websoil Survey home. The other option is you can type in websoilsurvey.nrcs.usda.gov. And once you click that, you're going to end up at this kind of intro page to Websoil Survey. The intro page does has a lot of information about Websoil Survey if you're wanting to look at that, but for our purposes, we just want to go straight into where we can get our data. So to get that page, we're going to click this big green button that says Start WSS. Once you get to this page, I do recommend that you bookmark this page for future uses because this is the page that you're going to need. So once you bookmark this, that's going to be the first thing you do. We can kind of get into the main parts of the first part of our Websoil survey. The very first thing you're going to see is this large map of the continental U.S. It says the Area of Interest Interactive Map. On the side over here, we have our quick navigation bar. For this tutorial, we'll just run over our Area of Interest portion. So if you look over here, the first thing we're going to look at is how do we get to our location that we want to know the information about. And so to do that, you're going to use the quick navigation tools. There are multiple ways to get there. For our purposes, what we usually use is address, which can be your site address. You could go in and do state and county if you've got a large county section, you want to look at the entire county. That's not used as often. Or you could use the latitude and longitude. And so for this is what I usually use. If you have your lat and longitude, this can get you very specific onto a farm site in the field. So for this case, we're going to use the lat and longitude I have here. One suggestion is if you need to figure out your lat and longitude is you can go to Google and find where your site is going to be at and copy and paste that lat and longitude over. So once you've typed in your lat and longitude, you'll click the view button, and this is going to zoom you into that point and reload aerial information and your photography for that site. So in this case, we're going to be looking at a site in Mitchell County. For this site, you're going to notice that we have zoomed in, and that gives us a lot of information up here on this bar. If you look at this bar, we have different icons that do different things. So for our site here in Mitchell County, if we wanted to zoom in to get closer, we have our zoom in button here. So you just click that and draw a rectangle to zoom into your area. You can also click this to zoom out. There's a hand which allows you to pan across the screen if you need to move around a little bit. This globe icon zooms you back out to the full extent of the continental US if you want to go back there. There is a backwards and forwards button. So if, for example, we zoomed in here and then I realized, oh, this is way, way too close. The other one was closer. I can click this and it will zoom me back out. You'll often notice that sometimes it takes a little bit longer to load, or depending on how close these pictures are. If you look here, there's this big blue eye. This is an identify button. So this is going to give you some basic information of wherever you click. And so most of this is based off of less soil data. This is more about the picture and the location. So for example, if you're trying to figure out when the aerial photography that you're looking at was took, that will show up using the identify key. So this was took somewhere between April 1st and May 9th of 2022. If you're needing to do a measurement off of these sites, there is a measuring tool. So this little ruler allows you to measure. So you would click, stretch out, click again, and that's going to tell you that segment. So every time you click, you're going to get another segment. And that's going to tell you the links to the different segments in both meters, distance, and feet. And then you can do a cumulative distance as well. So that's adding up all of these little sections that I've done here. We'll tell you that. We also have our soil data available. So this will identify kind of where your soil data is, what you have. So there's both tabular and spatial data that you'll use. Most of the stuff you're going to be looking at is the tabular data. Unless you're trying to download stuff into GIS, you often don't use the spatial data. And then the final thing that we're going to go over in our next video is your area of interest, which is going to be really critical for you to get all of your data and information.